Life is a sci-fi space horror that will draw a lot of criticism as a ripoff to the original Alien film, and although it takes similar elements from that series, it also takes from other space thrillers like Gravity, only with a far more claustrophobic feel. If Life has one overarching lesson, it's that
life, finds a way.
Well, yeah, but also that in order for life to exist, it must consume other life forms. Take a chimichanga you might have had one morning, or late at night, or for lunch. It's kind of an anytime food. Anyway, all those ingredients are life. Even vegetarians, in order for vegetables to grow, they must consume life. And that's what this film is about. Outlasting an organism that's just trying to survive. But the ending of the film leaves viewers asking several questions afterwards, so let's break those down. And keep in mind, everything you hear from here on out has major spoilers to life, so you've been warned. So here are the questions. There's been a rumor floating around that this might be a prequel to the solo Venom movie that was announced, so does that have any credibility? How exactly did the two lifeboat escape pods end up doing the exact opposite of what they intended to do? And why did Calvin the alien keep David alive in the escape pod? And is all life on Earth doomed, and does the ending set up a Life 2? I bet none of this would have happened if they had just named the alien Francis. Anyway, so back to the Venom, or more specifically the Venom symbiote prequel theory. You'd be surprised to find out the answer is probably, and here's why. I did a lot of research and a lot of Red Bull, and I found this. If you associate each letter of the alphabet to a number representing its place in the alphabet, and you add up the numbers in Venom and Calvin, then you get the numbers 69 and 61. Damn, so close. But if you subtract those two numbers, the number you're left with is 8. And the Venom movie would actually be the 8th Spider-Man universe film that Sony would have released. Behind Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Sony sharing their rights with Marvel in Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Civil War and the upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming, making the solo Venom movie equal number 8. And really quick, for those of you not versed in the Marvel comics, Venom, or the Venom symbiote, is a sentient alien being. Symbiotes require hosts to bond with for survival, and okay, sorry, I can't keep this up anymore. In case you guys couldn't guess, I was joking. Sorry for leading you on. So quickly, here's the reason why it's not a Venom prequel. Ryan Reynolds would have not been allowed to be in this film because he's Deadpool for 20th Century Fox's Marvel, so that would have been a breach of contract and a conflict of interest with him being in a different comic book movie universe. And besides, the Venom symbiote is black and Calvin is white. But I'm not here to start an intergalactic race war or anything, so I mean, if you prefer like Alien of Color or Astro-American, you know, anyway, back to the actual movie. So how did Hollywood pull off this classic misdirection, sending Miranda into deep space and David to Earth? So Calvin has been explained as a unique organism. All his cells are basically all muscle, all brain, and all eye. Calvin knew how to shut off the space station's communication with the Mission Control Center, so it's a safe guess to say that Calvin also knew how to sabotage the other lifeboat. As for David's lifeboat landing on Earth, you'll recall Calvin being wrapped around David's hand, giving him no control over the ship, since he decided he was going to turn off the autopilot and steer the ship himself into deep space. Cause I guess he just really hated people on Earth. As for Calvin keeping David alive, I mean, if you see a space pod land in the water by you, and you see an alive guy versus a dead guy in there, yeah, I'm not gonna open the one for the dead guy. Although my first question would have been, what's all that shit you're covered in, because it looks gross? What, did a space ghost come in there and spew ectoplasm all over you? And finally, does this set up a Life 2 movie? Probably not. The director of Life has said no. He never makes sequels, he's got too much ADD. And being that the first movie is a claustrophobic space horror, it's hard to think the movie would change so drastically, moving from a relatively tiny space station to the entire Earth. It would have been interesting to see a sequel, but given how fast Calvin grows, it's hard to think it wouldn't be long before it consumes the entire Earth, wiping out all life like it suggested his species did to prehistoric Mars. And I sort of said it earlier, but if there's one lesson in the movie Life, it's that in order for anything to exist, it needs to consume and destroy other life forms around it to survive. Whether that thing has a heartbeat like a human or an animal, or even water or vegetation, it's all life. So life's very existence is destruction, and destruction is life. Anyway, that's everything I have for the ending explained of Life. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below, and tell me your thoughts on the film. Also comment below whether you think Sony should pursue a different director to make a Life 2, or if you would even want to see it. And don't forget, as always, as Five Fingers explains everything, with the Fingerbang Show, life finds a way.